therapeutic spankings. Do you know this feeling that you get home from work or whatever you were busy with during the day and something happened? You had a fight with a colleague or with your kids and you're just frustrated or angry, maybe sad, and you just don't know how to get it out of your body. Do you know this as a dominant, that your submissive is coming home to you or connects with you and you feel that she's frustrated or he is frustrated and that something is blocking them and that it's really in their body? This is what therapeutic spankings are for. There are a million different kinds of spankings, right? I mean, you can do spankings for discipline, if they're not a masochist, of course. Spankings can be for maintenance. It can be part of play, it can be part of role play, it can be in a very intense scene. It can be to challenge yourself. But this is a different kind of spanking. And a therapeutic spanking is one that I recently found out about when I was really frustrated with my landlord. That happens every now and then, and too often actually. And I told my master, and he gave me a therapeutic spanking, on a distance by the way. It's just a way to release, because you have to surrender into the pain. And at that moment when you let go, there can be all kinds of emotions coming up. That's what usually happens with me. A therapeutic spanking is a loving way to use your relationship and the type of relationship that you have to help someone to process emotions. And what my master let me do was taking his belt. I had to take it, but you know, bring his belt and just spank the heck out of my ass, my boobs, my pussy. And just to, I mean, if he would have been there, he would have done it himself. And then he said that he would have used his bare hands. I can imagine that, because I think the skin to skin touch can definitely add. We were on a distance, so that wasn't possible. I used the belt, and what I did was just spank myself until I had to let go. This is the kind of moment that, to me, this is not for everyone. I didn't need it to be built up slowly, because I needed to break in a way. I needed to surrender into it. So it needs to be built up a bit. So I'm not getting more than I can take. But it's not like warming me up slowly and taking time. It's like very firm and serious spanking. Because this is the way that my body is in a way kind of forced to let go. And the moment that happens, I cried, and sometimes I laugh. It's double. I cry and I laugh at the same time. I know people who are screaming. Also people that are like really going to move into it, so they could really feel that emotion flowing from their body out of the way. And it's so refreshing, so freeing. So because somehow emotions get stuck in our body, and a therapeutic spanking is a way to make sure that you get it out. I love this. And the moment that my master said, when I came home and I was in this mode and he told me to bring the belt, I was like, are you out of your mind? I'm suffering here. Please have some patience. I need a hug and cuddles and a good girl and goody. But he decided to bring the belt. And of course I did. And only after a few minutes already, I could feel how valuable and how therapeutic it was. I think it's probably a bit like when you're, I have a kid, and when he is frustrated and angry, I gave him a boxing ball, and he can just like box on it and really get out of his frustration and anger. Now, in a way, I'm the receiving part, but this does something similar, because to me, pain is also pleasure, but there's also, especially the harder pain, is something that I need to process, and I need to surrender into it. And the moment that I do it, I'm also able, my body is able to let go of these emotions that are stuck. And this is, in a way, I think it's similar as the therapeutic boxing that my son is doing. Well, if you're going to do this, it depends on the type of relationship you have. Also, if spankings, of course, are a part of it, maybe you can find a way that fits for you, that will help you. So that is something really physical. I know that also I used to do, like, for instance, I went for a run and then I was going to run very fast. Like I was completely out of breath and exhausted. And that was the moment that I could also more or less let it go. It was not so intense as this. I think in a way it's also the part that you're doing this together as part of your relationship, that you're helping your submissive to let go of these emotions, is also very soothing. It feels so cared for, and I couldn't thank my master enough after I got it. So how do you do it? First of all is you talk about it. So you tell your submissive that this is what you're gonna do and why. It depends on the type of relationship, again, on how much information you need. Sometimes it's not really necessary to explain this very, very elaborate. Especially if maintenance spankings, for instance, are already part of your relationship, then usually you don't need a lot of introduction to do this. You can just tell her, bring the belt. The point is to talk about it, is that you say that you're gonna hurt her, gonna spank her. And then also during the times, that it also depends on who you are, how your relationship is, what they like. I like it when my master is then also talking with me or to me. He's telling me, just let it go, girl. Just breathe through it. These are the kind of things that he says, but also, you're such a good girl. I love you so much. I admire you for who you are. I'm with you. I'm caressing you now. I'm making love to you. And that makes it also powerful. I trust you. Just surrender into me. I'm here for you. I'm safe. This kind of words are for me very important. So these are the type of things that I like him to tell me. You stay calm. This is not the time that you're the one being carried away with your emotions. My landlord, he's a bit, sometimes he doesn't know to keep his hands at home, and he touches me in places that are a bit inappropriate, and my master can be furious about this. But he will never let this fury take him away when he is doing a therapeutic spanking. He stays calm. He's my rock. He's my safe harbor. I'm the one that can deal with their emotions, and we deal with his emotions later. And usually also the spanking is for him also a way to process, by the way. Especially when we're together and he can actually beat me. It's different when we're on a distance. So staying calm is very important. You don't have to stay silent. So you can talk. Usually it's a good way. But sometimes when the submissive gets really quiet, sometimes it's good also to be a bit quiet. But that's something that you need to feel. And as long as you're very, very present and you feel what's going on there. This is important. Follow the rhythm. I mean, especially if you're together longer, at one point you can feel what she needs, how much she needs. If you need to push it more. The time that my master did that for the first time, I realized that I really needed to have some harsh pain. When I really got my emotions flowing, I really wanted him to increase, especially the speed. So to make it faster, and there was no holding back. I was making myself, so I gave it all, and I wasn't like neglecting parts of my body that usually I would be a bit careful about. I just needed that pain to get out of my body. And that was so wonderful. And then at that point, it's quite easy for me to process the pain, but I'm a masochist. So I can imagine that maybe for you, this is different, or for your submissive. So take that into account and follow the rhythm of the body of your submissive. After that, it might be that they talk, that they want to share what's going on, but it's not always. So take that into account. If you have a submissive that usually after a scene also appreciates to stay calm for a while, just to be hugged, be held, be taken care of, but for the rest, stay quiet. And it might be that also in the therapeutic spanking, they will always also stay a bit quiet. Leave them. And if they start to talk, which of course, I mean, for me, this is the time that I'm just going to throw it all, and I really need to talk a lot. this is not the moment that you're trying to fix it and coming up with solutions. First, you need to close this emotional processing process. What you do is you let her emotions roll, let her talk about it, let them talk about it. And only after they're done, then maybe they can ask for us. If they ask for it, you can help them with the solution. But usually what I found is that I often can't come up with a solution myself because I'm stuck in my emotions. And the moment that I'm getting out of these, the moment that these emotions start to flow, it's also a lot easier for me to come up with solutions. Have fun and play with passion.